Well, hello, and welcome back to another video. Apparently, Bethesda is actually doing an Oblivion remake. I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a meme because Sky Oblivion is set to release this year as well. So, this brings up an interesting question because if they do an Oblivion remake, because apparently they're supposed to be announcing more information about it soon. Um, if they do an Oblivion remake, and it's worse than the Sky Oblivion remake? Oh boy. Oh, Bethesda is going to be cooked if they do not nail this on the head. 10 out of 10 game would play again type situation.
Everybody, it is Maddie here today, and we have
Maddie.
what I think is like stunning news. Like, if I had a negative crash out during the WB Games video, I don't know what you call a positive crash out, but like, I am legitimately freaking out about this
It's actually a really good question. What do you call a positive crash out?
news as reality sets in. So, we have an Oblivion remake that's been floating around for a while. We've been covering it since it first leaked in 2023. That was exciting enough. The couple of years leading into it have been long and arduous, but ladies and gentlemen, when we actually see this game officially for the first time, the wait is going to be insanely short, apparently. And so help me God, if this remake is good, Todd, so help me God, brother, if this is good, do you know how? Like, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, dude. An Oblivion remake in June, like, I was thrilled about that. Like, we're gonna see it, and in a couple months we're gonna get it. Now the talks have dwindled down to maybe a month, dude. I can't. That is so exciting. Okay, my heart is like through the roof right now. Okay, let's take a chill pill, because if it sucks, then I'm gonna crash out the other way.
See, this is what I was just saying right before we started the video was if it comes out and it doesn't live up to the hype, that's a problem because Sky Oblivion is going to come out and we have a lot of footage and shit to look at for Sky Oblivion. He's even referencing it in the video. Um, it's a tough expectation to live up to.
Right? So here we are. The pendulum could swing either way. Bethesda, Virtuos, it's in your hands now. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, welcome. If you're new here, you're into what's going on with Bethesda, Oblivion Remake,
Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon, all the stuff.
and the busy couple of years they seem to have ahead of them. Consider subscribing. Let's start off with where this news started. A lot of people thought it came from McStasis. He tweeted out
See, this is what I was saying. I thought it was a meme. I thought people were fucking around. I thought it was some Reddit trolling bullshit. But apparently, it's way more legit than I was giving it credit for.
here that the Oblivion remake is coming soon, but this was not his own news. This came from Nate the Hate. Where I really want to sink into things is the VGC article titled Bethesda's Oblivion Unreal Engine 5 remake could be releasing sooner than you think. And it says here, according to noted insider Nate the Hate, the Oblivion remake is set for a reveal in the coming weeks. Acclaimed VGC has corroborated with our own sources. Nate claims the game will likely release before June, while sources have told VGC it could arrive as soon as next month. There's got to be a plan here. I don't know if Todd's just having a giggle over there at Bethesda, if the man is like, oh, I'm going to keep shortening that window. Like, he has said on record in an interview that he would keep the announcement window and the release window to like a week if he could. He'd go as short as he can. He wants that to be like that moment of you see it, you're excited, and then you get your hands on it. The idea that this man may have actually forced the hand enough for an Oblivion remake that with like mass marketing and everything would do so well. The fact that this company actually might just be like, see you next month, max, is crazy. But what we have here is Nate the Hate, who has become a very trusted.
Well, it's also like another like 2 years for them to actually like finish the game. Ah, Todd, I'm never gonna let you live down Starfield, buddy. Never, never, never.
insider. We talked a lot about his reporting heading into Developer Direct, where he got the South of Midnight release date right. He also got Doom the Dark Ages right.
Oh, fucking Doom the Dark Ages. I'm so excited, bro.
He also was right about the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal and all that stuff. So this guy has become like A or S tier. So to me, he is on that like Jez Corden level at this point where I'm like, I'm going to take what he says with a level of seriousness. So when he's saying it, that's one thing. Then VGC comes in and is like, well, actually, he's right, but it may be sooner than you even think. The original tweet, though, from Nate the Hate was when he was asked about Oblivion remake news this month. He said either this month or next month release is likely to be sooner than the original June target, but still working to get details on an updated release date. And this just brings out the whole question of, do they shadow drop it? I mean, when you look at Oblivion and its birthday, if you will, its original release date was March 20th, 2006. And when you see here in the VGC article that this game could be released within the next month or so, that means that you have to reveal it soon. Now, there's a couple of spots. Obviously, the Oblivion release date, I think, would be the best. You have the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, where you could also reveal it. But good God almighty, man. I don't.
I think that'd be a weird reveal time, considering they're so closely partnered with Xbox now. To not use Xbox as the platform to reveal it would be fucking weird. And then to do it on the Switch would be even weirder.
What? I don't know what to say. And it looks like a shadow drop is legitimately possible because Nate the Hate then posts a quick update on the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion announcement and release timing. As plans stand, both the release and reveal are targeting next month, April. The gap between the reveal and release will be minimal. A shadow drop is possible? Dude, what? I see. This thing is like, okay, now we're in April. So if we're thinking April, are we talking like the Switch 2 Direct? Like, is that the idea there? That they're going to get on Nintendo stage, they're going to announce a bunch of Xbox stuff, heading to Nintendo platforms. Do they announce the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake then and say it's available right now and it'll be available on Switch 2 at launch? Like,
Oh, how do you guys feel about the Switch with the instead of the slide in Joy-Cons, they have the snap in Joy-Cons? I don't know how I feel about it functionality wise. I like the slide in better because it locks them into place. Whereas like these, they're just gonna snap on. Eventually, those parts are gonna wear down, and then they're just gonna pop right off, and it's gonna be the most annoying shit ever. That's what I think.
is that the idea? Because I feel like that's a hype moment, like if you were thinking Xbox Developer Direct, but if you're talking like the Nintendo Switch 2, I feel like it has to synchronize with Nintendo hardware. Are they going to squeeze the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake onto Switch 1? Is that possible?
I think everything when it comes to the Switch, everything depends on what kind of hardware they're putting in the new Switch. Because I don't know, a lot of people, including myself, aren't really. I'm not looking at this as a like it's gonna be on the Steam Deck level. It's gonna be on the fucking uh, what are those? The Rogue Ally level. I don't think that's what Nintendo is going to do. Um, it would be nice because then I can get a Pokemon game that looks like it's not made for the 3DS.
I don't know. That's really tough to imagine an Unreal Engine 5 game in an open world setting running on Switch, but am I thinking too narrowly? Is this the place that we would actually see an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion announcement in the Switch 2 Direct? I mean, that was my original prediction. Well, I don't know, but a shadow drop being possible is a major game changer and a major wrench in my schedule. I already wanted to play South of Midnight and Expedition 33. Now you're throwing this
Expedition 33, I'm incredibly hyped for.
in here. Can we just like spread it out a little bit, please? I think for me, the real question is why? Like, why are you doing this? Bethesda is such a creature of habit. I'm like, why do you just do this because it's fun? Do you do this because you're gonna do something with Elder Scrolls 6 come June? You might like re-reveal it, as I've personally predicted, to kind of set.
Yeah, I do think it is due for at least a re-reveal or some type of positive update because a lot of people I do think are losing heart that that game is even ever going to see the light of day because GTA 6, when it got announced with a timeline. Well, on the official announcement, it had some sort of a timeline of which we could see this game coming, and Rockstar said nothing about it until they were at that point. So I do think it was a mistake on Bethesda's part to even reveal this trailer, uh, knowing they had nothing to show for it. That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. It's hard to get people behind that. So I do think they do need a new one, and they do need some sort of a timeline, even if it could be fucking 6 months off. But as long as it's somewhat relative to when it'll come out and they can update it more once they have much more of the game finished and they have a better idea, okay, this is going to come out uh in this quarter. So,
the tone for what to expect with
that's what I
ES6, and
think.
then maybe next year in 2026 you get like a gameplay reveal and the game's coming out in 2027. Like, is that the plan? Like, this is where my head's at. I'm like, I don't think you just shadow drop an Oblivion remake if that's where they're gonna go with it. I don't think you just shadow drop it for no reason. Like, I feel like there has to be some sort of plan attached to it, because you have to look ahead, right? You think of how what's next is my baby, my beloved Fallout 3 remake. That was on the FTC documents too. And since everything's holding up to be true in that leaked document list, you're like, okay, Oblivion Remake Remaster is there. Then Fallout 3 is next. Are you going to shadow drop Fallout 3? Are you going to do that? Yo, I just like, I can't, because like with Fallout, it's like you have the TV show. They now establish the Fallout Day stream every year where announcements can be held. So I'm like, you got places to announce it and build up to it, and Fallout makes a ton of money. So does Elder Scrolls. So again, I'm just like trying to get the idea behind the rationale here, just from a business angle, because there's got to be a reason for it. But maybe like this is the reason. I mean, you look at the reaction. I haven't even seen the damn game, and I'm bouncing in my chair like a 5 year.
You know what they could do? They could make an Elder Scrolls series and then have Henry Cavill as the main guy, because we've already tried and tested this with The Witcher. So we know that people love Henry Cavill. They love him in that type of a fantasy setting. Take it again, remaster it, and then this time get rid of The Witcher completely and drop him into the Elder Scrolls universe. Have him be the Dovahkiin. Have him running through this crazy timeline of dragons and chaos and politics and war. People will fucking love that shit. You kidding me? That'll be like your next Game of Thrones level fucking hype behind any sort of telling of a story from an art perspective. It'd be insane. It'd be insane.
Old. Again, if the game isn't good, then I'm gonna look like a real fool. But I'm always willing to take that chance because I like to be authentic. And right now, my emotions are like, "Hey, dude, this is exciting." So I'm not gonna downplay it. Now, here is the thing: we gotta talk about a couple of things, right? Because like reality's about to bitch slap us, right? We're talking about the Oblivion remake release potentially within the next month. Okay, crazy. So
Right.
let's start to iron out some expectations. Number one, if it's an Unreal Engine 5, like what are we expecting? Modern lighting, but are we expecting the dungeons to be redone? Is that going to be part of this remake? And by that I don't mean layout, but like visually, are the assets going to be varied enough where I know where I am in like my millionth set of alien ruins or another cave? Will I know where I'm at? Is it going to be like updated combat? How much feedback will be there? We did get as part of a leak from a LinkedIn profile that there will be improvements to the gameplay system. We talked about them a little bit, but I'll recover them right here. They say that 6 of the reworked gameplay systems are stamina, sneaking, blocking, archery, hit reaction, and HUD. They say
Yeah, I think they're just basically going to update it. I hope the HUD doesn't get too updated. Because the point of it being a remake is you want it to be authentically, you know, as close to the original as you can without changing too many aspects of it, because that's what people are familiar with. You're selling a game that's being remade based off of a familiarity of a game that people have already tried, played, and enjoyed. So if you change too many aspects of that set game, people will not gravitate towards this game the same way that they gravitated toward the first one.
Improvements to the game's blocking system have been reportedly inspired by the Souls-like games, while sneak icons are now highlighted in the new system. The stamina system was modified to be less frustrating for the player, making the knockdown that occurs when stamina is depleted more difficult to activate through changes in calculation methods. The HUD was changed to make it easier to understand and more aesthetically appealing to young players, something I've already expressed my worries about. Hit reactions are also added to improve the response to damage inflicted on the player and NPCs, and archery was improved to make it more playable and modern in both first and third person points of view. Virtuos is handling the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 as well. So if that is sort of the visual level we're expecting here, we are in for a treat. I think the real
That would actually be insane.
question mark for a lot of people is modability. And this is a very fair question because we're now moving into an Unreal Engine 5 project where that's a lot more difficult to pull off. So, my 2 cents on this would be money. It's that simple. Like, I think number one, mods are money to Bethesda now. There was a time it wasn't. They just would give them the tools to kind of keep their games relevant for longer than any other single player game on the market. Now, a lot of companies have caught up with that, but Bethesda has taken the step forward of not only hiring these modders more frequently than other companies, but also monetizing them. Creation Club. I don't see a world where Oblivion Remake goes on without a Creation Club. So Bethesda sees this as a potential money.
Fine with the creation club so long as it doesn't overtake the free modability of the game. Um, because I could see too many potential ways where this could go sour. Um, I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point because I'll be the first one to absolutely slander that entire concept if that's the case. But I'm hoping not. I'm hoping they got a better mind than that, and then we continue to have the free mod support, and then that's what makes modding so special, you know.
Option. And I say that because I talked about this with Fallout, and undoubtedly when they do 3 and New Vegas, they're updating these games also because they become these updated platforms that you can sink money into. That is the unfortunate reality of this all for many of you, is that, including myself, we're all excited about this. But when I look at like Starfield's Creation Club and how when I interviewed Todd last June, we're 9 months away from that. And still, we haven't really seen the meaningful updates to pricing on the Creation Club storefront when it came to that game. So I'm not excited for that element of it, but am I going to kid myself and act like Bethesda's just going to release an Oblivion remake and be like, here, $70 and also day one Game Pass, have fun? Like, no. Creation Club's a huge part of this company's future plans. It's going to be in Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be in every game that they remake. They're bringing, I think, all these games forward so that they can add Creation Club in, because then you have this, I put in quotes, definitive version. We'll see if it actually ends up being the definitive version or Sky Oblivion will take the crown. But you have this, quote, definitive version that people can then spend money on, and their games are viewed as platforms that people play for years and years and years. And so Bethesda gets to make a lot of their money like many developers do through their back catalog, not only the original titles that people will happily buy, but also the ones that are remade with the new bells and whistles that you can maybe buy stuff from. But Creation Club is fueled by a modding community at the end of the day, but I just don't see a world where Bethesda lets that element of the business slide with one of their games. It's so important just in general, not only for community, but it's also important for their money-making opportunities. So I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong on this, but I feel
Now, I think he's right. I think he's 100% correct. Like I said, there's definitely ways that it can go sour. That I'm hoping it doesn't. Um, and then there's also the aspect of a Bethesda game's main appeal, because like Skyrim, it was very cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing it on release. But would I still be talking about it if I didn't mod it to absolute, well, since we're talking about it, oblivion? The answer is no. 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 There's too many good games that have come out in between now and back then that Skyrim would no longer be relevant to me. I think it would still have gone down as one of the greatest games, but it would not have had the same legendary run it has without the free mod support that it has had over the years. Um, and I do like the Creation Club, I do like the concept of it and what the point of it is, bringing in popular modders who have done a lot of good work in order to not only make it lucrative for them, but it also makes it more interesting for those who are up and coming because it creates a sense of reward for something that was generally you just did it as a hobby. Like modding was never a reward that was tangible, right? Aside from like, the you might get some income from the Nexus if people do give you some endorsements and stuff like that, you might get a little bit from that. But other than that, it's pretty yeah, it's pretty unforgiving job,
Feel like there has to be some sort of solution there, whatever it may be. I
or
don't
hobby.
know, but I feel like there has to be some sort of solution for modding. Is it possible that they just say this is a one-off and we're not doing it? I guess so, but I just feel like that's them intentionally leaving money on the table, and I don't see how they greenlight this project if they can't figure that out. So that is the big hurdle with Unreal Engine 5 that comes to mind for me. It seems like now the floodgates on information for Oblivion Remake have truly opened, and maybe that's part of the reason why we're getting a hasty reveal to release. And also, the game may not have a ton of new bells and whistles beyond the visuals for the remake, which may be also why Bethesda wants to shorten that window a bit, because then the glaring flaws, if you will, start to become more apparent of like, oh, all the dungeons are the same, and oh, the combat really isn't that different. I don't know. Again, just spitballing, trying to bring myself down from the stratosphere like 8% right now. Just a little bit of rationale amidst all of this hype. But look, man, if we're seeing here from VGC, again, I'm reading it right now. Acclaim VGC has corroborated with our own sources. Nate claims the game will release before June, while sources have told VGC it could arrive as soon as next month. So I feel like the Oblivion anniversary date on the 20th is the day. That's a week from today. And I guess with the floodgates open, I could see a world where we start to get real strong leaks like, here's the gameplay, or I could see a screenshot slipping through, or trailer gets uploaded early, or something like that. Like I could see a world where this becomes a slippery slope for Bethesda because the leaks have only mounted up more and more. They haven't stopped. People are sliding things through LinkedIn by accident. So I see a world where Bethesda probably wants to get this revealed as soon as possible. Same with Virtuos, and frankly, like I want to see it for the first time with that trailer because that is the one thing with this remake, and I've said it multiple times, so I apologize if I'm a broken record, but like I can't imagine a janky Bethesda game looking pretty in Unreal Engine. I can't visualize that. The close up in dialogue where like you literally are just a square of someone's head. I can't even imagine that.
Oh shit. That's funny. I ain't gonna lie. That's funny. I forget about all the freaking bugs from Oblivion, man. I was fairly young when Oblivion came out. Um, so I don't remember Oblivion as well as I remember Skyrim, but Oblivion, man, crazy. You know what I really want a remake of though? I want Morrowind. I want a remake of Morrowind. That's what I really want.
In my head, I'm like, what does that look like when it's all prettied up and shiny? And there is a world where, I mean, look, Virtuos did do the Spacer's Choice edition of the Outer Worlds, which is now in great condition. But when it first launched, like the way the eyes looked, the lighting, the character models, like it just felt like needless work done to justify re-releasing the game again. And it was the worst version of the game until they finally fixed it like a year later. So
Yeah, I was lucky. I came into the Outer Worlds after it had gone through its proper development and fixes and whatnot. So when I started playing it and I was talking to people about it, everybody made me worried because I got the game cheap. I got it on sale. And I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting. I'll try it." I wanted to find a new game where I could do a lot of shooting, but it wasn't some online multiplayer thing. So I stumbled upon the Outer Worlds and the game at that time, fantastic. I fucking played the shit out of it. I beat the whole thing. But, yeah, so I probably will get Outer Worlds 2, assuming, it doesn't look too bad.
I just don't want that to happen here with Oblivion Remake, especially because look, I love Elder Scrolls, but I love Fallout like a teensy tiny bit more. And to me, whatever's happened with
It's the other way
Oblivion
around for
Remake
me.
is also happening with Fallout 3.
The Fallout franchise has been okay for me. I haven't been like too crazy about it. The reason I liked Skyrim is because the only thing that was set about your character in Skyrim was the fact that you were the Dovahkiin. That's it. That's the only thing. Everything else was up to you. Whereas Fallout, you had a fairly like somewhat written story, kind of pre-written for you, and goals you needed to accomplish, and then you were given freedom. So I was like, okay, so it's like you gave me uh an open world, open choice game with guardrails. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. Whereas like Skyrim, it gave you an open world with open choice where I could completely ignore the main objective, walk completely across the map in areas that I probably shouldn't have been in, and just experience the world. I hate that. I hate that about games. That's why it's like one of my things that I criticized about Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the same way. Their way of keeping you kind of in this kind of bubble and keep you from going out of that bubble was putting you surrounded by areas that are way too overleveled for you. Now, that being said, this is how bad Ubisoft is at developing games because I was level 25 and I managed to raid a level 220 area as a level 25. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Yeah. You think I would have been able to do that if Bethesda made the game? No. No. If I tried that shit, I would have died instantly. I didn't die one time in my first playthrough of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Not one time. Now after that I died a few times just because I did dumb shit, but yeah, I didn't die a single time.
And that is the
It's
one,
crazy.
like, that is my baby. I will protect that at all costs. Like, you cannot mess it up. So if Oblivion Remake isn't in a good spot, then what does that mean for Fallout 3? So the pressure is high for me, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be staring at my ceiling thinking about this thing until I finally see the trailer. And it seems like when we see the trailer, the wait may not be long. It may be a shadow drop. It might be as soon as a week from then. I don't know. I don't know, but oh man. Whew. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. This is a game changer, right? Like, I already had the thing that annoys me is I think this might be the GTA 6 effect a little bit. Like, it seems like Oblivion Remake was already planned for front half of this year. But then I look at something like what happened with Death Stranding 2, where they announced it, they're like, we're coming out in 3 months. I'm like, what is going on? What? Oh, everyone's trying to avoid that late summer holiday period because GTA 6 is looming, and when that comes out, everyone's clearing out. Maybe Call of Duty's the only one who could stand
I was just
toe to toe.
Call of Duty. What? No. That's the biggest fucking lie I've ever heard. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving him shit, but like I don't think Call of Duty stands a shadow of a fucking chance in the same ring as GTA 6. No game does, really. Um Now you could argue that Elder Scrolls 6 could have stood in the same ring because they're going after two very different audiences. So a lot of people who are playing GTA 6 are not playing Elder Scrolls 6. So, and then you have a good chunk of Rockstar's player base that will choose to play Elder Scrolls 6 over GTA 6. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, if they released at the same time, those two games would take over for like probably the next 2 years. Easily the next 2 years. Um, but yeah, I don't really know another game that's been teased that I could put up in the ring with GTA 6. I'm trying to think. Uh, There's not really anything off the top of my head where I'm like, "Oh, yeah, 100% they would give GTA 6 a run for their money." Um, no, no. I think that's about the only other game that I could think of that would carry that much hype around it.
But like GTA 6 will be the biggest game ever. So I think that's why we're getting a lot of these surprises, but it's messing up my gaming schedule. I'm already reviewing stuff and then I'm like
Tough.
planning out, oh, I want to finish Death Stranding 1 before 2 comes out. In what world will I be able to do that if Oblivion Remake's coming out in the next month? God. God.
That's where I'm at, because 'cause I've never played Death Stranding, but I got a bunch of games that I'm fucking playing right now. I got Atomic Heart that I haven't finished that I'm gotta get back into. I've been playing the shit out of Wilds. I should probably do another session with Wilds, and update you guys with that because I have flown through the high rank, um, like it's freaking paper mache. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll do another video on that. I need to get back on the gaming videos, but I just gotta find the time. Right now, I'm just super fucking divided. But, but we will get there. We will be square. And I don't know where I was going with that.
God, life is great. Life is great. This is a great problem to have, man. So, okay. I think I got it off my chest. We'll see. I, again, expect more leaks to happen, so we'll see. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this Oblivion remake news in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, so fire away. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.
True. I love these videos. I love these videos, man. Make sure you go to his channel, Mr. Matty Plays. Give him a sub, give him a like, give him a follow, all that stuff. Comment on his video. Uh, yeah, we're trying to stay close to the recently dropped topics, but we had a little bit of a dry spell there where there wasn't really anything where I was like, oh yeah, that's a good thing that I want to talk about. But that's gonna be it from me on this video. So I appreciate you all. Much love. So like, subscribe, comment. Most importantly, subscribe to yourself. Self love is important these days. And I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace.